We thank you so much for watching Voices of the Bar, where the legal world speaks. Today we want to look at rules governing acceptance. We want you to appreciate these rules governing acceptance. It becomes easy when we go through all these rules that are governing acceptance. We thank you so much for watching Voices of the Bar, where the legal world speaks. And today we are going to discuss acceptance, and particularly just to highlight on some of the rules that people must know if you are to attempt the number that comes on acceptance. So we ask you to subscribe. Don't watch minus subscribing. Subscribe and keep sharing our videos. Keep the comments coming through. We appreciate that. We also run Law School Made Easy. Where you don't find a video on Voices of the Bar, kindly check out on Law School Made Easy. You will get that video on Law School Made Easy or on Voices of the Bar. Let's now dig straight, deep dive into rules governing acceptance. Number one, we are going to begin with the rule that where acceptance is, there must have been an offer. That is the first rule. We are saying that you cannot accept from anyhow. You cannot accept from nowhere. There must have been an offer. There must have been an offerer who put up an offer, and then that way we shall get the acceptance. Hope I am clear. That for acceptance, first and foremost, to be there, to exist, there must have been an offer. That is the first rule. There must be, and the person who makes an offer is the offerer, and then the person who accepts it becomes the offeree. So we are saying that where there is acceptance, in the first place, there should have been an offer. I'll give an example. In the case of Karil versus Carbolic Smoke Ball, the Carbolic Smoke Ball, they put up an offer. Whoever buys and uses in the prescribed manner, okay? And uses in a prescribed manner 3 times a day for a period of 2 weeks will get ABCD, the way the case was. Now, that is a typical example of an acceptance. That where there is an offer, the offerer expects 2 things: either rejection of the offer or acceptance of the offer. That is rule number 1. Rule number 2 that governs acceptance: where there is a condition to be performed in an offer, then there will be acceptance on performance of the condition. I repeat, where there is a condition placed in an offer and performance, and that condition must be performed. The moment that condition is performed, then there is acceptance. So performance of any condition in an offer amounts to acceptance. Let's give an example. In the Carbolic Smoke Ball, the first case we can use, they are saying that whoever buys and uses in a prescribed manner will not catch influenza. If they do, we have put £1,000 in Alliance Bank, and there's also a price of £100. Whoever buys and uses in a prescribed manner. So they have put a condition: you buy, you use in a prescribed manner 3 times a day for a period of 2 weeks. So performance of that condition means that you have accepted. The moment in an offer they press there a condition, the moment you perform that condition, you have accepted. There is acceptance. That is another rule that governs acceptance. Rule number 3 that governs acceptance. Rule number 3 is that let's give a case. Another case. Look at the case of Chimbona versus Departed Asian Custodian Board. Look at the case of Chimbona versus Departed Asian Custodian Board. Now, in the case of Chimbona, this case, the Departed Asian Custodian Board, they put up an advertising that they were selling these houses. They were giving out these houses on the tender, on loan, something like that. Now, Chimbonda, but in their advert, they put a condition saying that they put a condition saying that whoever wants to take these houses must pay 10%. They put all their conditions, but there was a condition of paying 10%. Now, Chimbona comes out and pays 10%. So meaning that he has performed the condition in your advert, so therefore there is acceptance. He has performed the condition in your advert, therefore there is acceptance. Okay? Now, court held that the moment he performed the condition put there, because the custodian board was saying that they have changed their mind, they want to consider residents first. Court said no. You put a condition in your advert, and this man came up and performed actually that condition. So you cannot come around and turn and say you are changing whatever you did. So that is what we mean by where a condition has been put in an offer advert, then performance of that condition amounts to acceptance. That is 3. Acceptance must come from the rightful persons, from the rightful authority. That is where acceptance should come from. I'll give an example. There is a case of Powell versus Lee. Powell is Powell. LL, then Lee, LEE. Now, in Powell, this man Powell went for an interview to become an headmaster of a particular school. Now, when he went for the interview, he was interviewed and then he left. Now, in the evening of that day, he met one of the people who was on the panel of the people who were interviewing him. And before that person left off to go to town, they had set a position to give this man a job, to give Mr. Powell a job. They agreed to give him a job. So when they met in town, this man who was on the panel told the Powell that, look here, by the way, I left the interview panel, but we gave you're going to be the headmaster. So Mr. Powell went to his trusted tailor, made an order for a suit, organized himself, and then planning to come on Monday. So before he came on Monday, the headmaster called him and told him that the chairperson of the board, that we have not given you because we have found inconsistency in your papers. So Paul said, no, but you had given me, somebody told me. So he went to court, saying that I was given a job, but now they are telling me I don't have a job, I have wasted my money, made a suit, made ABCD. Now, court held that communication must come from the rightful people. That Mr. Powell had no case, because he just heard from someone who didn't have the authority to communicate the communication. So meaning that, now this now takes me to another rule, that acceptance by the offeree must be brought to the attention of the offerer. That when you accept, your acceptance must be brought to the attention of the offerer. In the event it is not brought to the attention of the offerer, then there is no acceptance. You must make sure that the person who made the offer knows that you have accepted. That is why I bring in the case of Entories versus Far Wild East. That's the case where Lord Denning gave an obiter dictum, saying that assuming you are communicating an offer to somebody across the river, but then you are interfered after communicating, but the sound of the aircraft is up there, what do? You wait for it to go and then you communicate your acceptance, because acceptance must be communicated back to the offerer. The offerer must know that they have accepted or they have not accepted. Another rule, where the offerer decides the mode of acceptance, you must comply by the mode of acceptance. When the offerer says, I've given out this offer, but you are only supposed to accept by writing a letter, or by writing a mail, or by calling me, making a phone call, then you must follow that mode of communication that the offerer has given. The moment there is a mode of acceptance, then you, the offeree, the person accepting, must follow that mode. The moment you deviate from that mode, there is no acceptance. The moment you deviate from that mode, there is no acceptance. Okay? And then finally, there is the postal rule. This one is very clear. The postal rule suggests that the moment the offerer chooses to use a poster, they must bear all the consequences of a poster. And then the rule now comes and says that the moment the offeree, the person who is accepting, posts their acceptance at the poster, it doesn't matter whether the acceptance reaches the offerer after 10 days, after 1 month, the acceptance has been entered the moment you post your letter on the post. Why? Because the offerer chose to use that mode of acceptance of communication, then they must bear the consequences. Whether the poster gets issued, their cards break down, they can't move the letter, the offerer must bear the consequence. He cannot come and say, me, you didn't respond on time, I changed my mind. No. The moment you post your acceptance, we are in a contract, you and the offerer are in a contract. Of course, things have changed now, but that is for another day. We thank you so much for watching Voices of the Bar, where the legal world speaks. Subscribe, share, like our videos. Until next time, thank you so much.